What's up, guys? And I'm actually really excited to show you what I got for you guys today. It's the HexGaming Advanced Controller for the Xbox Series X. It's the same company that made my PS5 rival controller with the nice back buttons there. And I'm actually excited about this controller because of the nice back buttons right here, as you can see, and the trigger stops as well, because I personally don't have an Elite controller because I've heard some quality issues with that, so I didn't really want to spend money on that. So having this and finally having some back buttons to go with it, very excited for it. So let's go and take a closer look, starting with the box. Alright, now first off, it comes in this little box right here. It's pretty plain and simple, nothing too special about it, and it's pretty well packaged overall. When you pull it out here, you got this cardboard box. There we go. Slide that out there, nothing else in there. And then it's held on pretty nicely in here with these little kind of baggies there, so it's definitely well made. And of course you have your thumbstick inside this slot right here. They just kind of hidden in there. Pull that out and there's that. And then the warranty card, which it's actually a 3-month warranty, but if you follow these instructions right here, it'll extend it to 6 months. And here's the instruction manual that it comes with. I'll just go ahead and go through it right there. You can just pause it and read it if you want to. Otherwise, we'll move on. Alright, and then here is the controller again. And what's really great about this controller is that it's actually built on top of a Series X official Microsoft controller. So you get the quality of the official OEM controller with the nice decoed out, customized look that HexGaming gives you. And taking a closer look at the detail, HexGaming, they actually sent this over and they allowed me to customize it myself. So this is a completely custom design, which I actually really enjoyed making. I went for this purple because this clear purple, because it kind of reminds me of the Nintendo 64 Atomic Purple, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. And then of course I went with the green right up here, and then on the buttons and some gold there. It's kind of a Incredible Hulk / Joker look, and then of course I have some red triggers here that, you know, kind of turn into Christmas. But anyways, it's pretty cool because you can actually see the rumble motors, and when it's working, you can actually, you know, when it's turned on, you can actually see the motors moving, which is pretty cool. I'll definitely show you that. It actually really closely resembles the new 20-year, you know, anniversary controller that Microsoft has. But anyways, you got the gold things right there. These thumbsticks are interchangeable, just like on the PlayStation rival controller. Then you have the sides here with this kind of nice rubberized grip here, and it's got these weird indents that don't seem to go with your fingers, because you'd have to hold it like this, which is very weird. They actually sit into your thumb, your palm right here, not thumb, your palm. And I don't know what it is. It looks weird and looks like it shouldn't be comfy, but it actually really is that nice rubber grip. Then you got the trigger stops right there. And what's cool about these triggers here is I picked the clear ones because I wanted to see the impulse rumble motors, which you can see right in there. I actually never realized that this new Series X controller had these rumble motors in the triggers until I watched a breakdown video of it a couple months ago, so definitely wanted the clear so I could see that. And then of course you have 4 back buttons, just like the Elite controller, and they got some nice clicks to them too. And then of course, you know, you got the little ports down here since it's the official controller. You got that there. Got my rechargeable batteries, take that out. And that's what that looks like on the inside, because it's an official controller, so it looks like an official controller. And yeah, that is my custom designed advanced controller. Alright, now going into the features, the thumbsticks here are removable. They use kind of a friction tension system. Pull that out there. As you can see, it just has kind of little slots there for it to slide into, and then there's the corresponding slots right there. And then when you stick them on, make sure they're lined up correctly, they just slide right in like so, and they're held on by tension, and they actually hold very, very well, just like the rival controller. And then you get 4 additional thumbsticks that you can swap out right here with varying lengths. And here's all 4 of them, including the 2 I just pulled off the controllers there. You got the regular convex one as well as the domed. And they all have a nice rubberized texture to the top of them right there. And it's better to kind of wash them with soapy water first before you use them, because they're pretty slick at first, but then after that they wear in and they have some nice grip to them. Then you have the trigger stops here, which is the only gripe that I actually have with this controller, and that's because these trigger stops look like they should just flip back and forth easily, but it's actually it's literally really hard to it's easy to go that way, but when you try to go the opposite way, I don't know what it is, but it gets very, very tight right about there, and it literally will bend your nail back like so. Just kind of really have to force it in there. So I mean, I asked them and they said that after using the triggers for a while that it should wear in, but I've been using this for 2 weeks and it's still really tough and bending my fingernails back, so it's kind of annoying. So I hope they fix that, you know, maybe change the tolerances a little bit so it's not so tight or whatnot. But aside from that, they definitely do work, as you can see right here. Hopefully that glare from the gold doesn't get in the way. But this is without the trigger stop on, and this is with it on. So you can see it does make quite a difference, and it does feel great when you're playing like a shooter like Halo or Fortnite or Call of Duty, so it definitely makes a difference. And then we get to the back buttons, which I really like. And just as a side note, the gold colored plating that they have on here is quite durable. Like I said, I've been using it for 2 weeks and I don't really notice any scratches, so it's kind of dirty because of my fingers and stuff. Try to wipe that off, but aside from that, it's actually very durable. But anyways, as for the buttons, what's really nice about these is that they have a nice kind of click to them. As you can see, it's like a mouse click, and it's great because it's just enough tension so you don't accidentally discharge these buttons, but not enough to where it's hard to press. And what's nice is if you see these little kind of weird angular slots, just the whole design of it, what's great about it is you don't just have to push it down. You can actually push from the sides, pull it if you want to, like so. Here, let me hold this like this here. So you can actually just pull it if you want and activate it, or you can push it, or you can have your finger here and just kind of push up like that, pull down like that. So it gives you a lot of options. You can just use one finger, kind of go back and forth like so, or you can use 2 fingers like that. And what's really great is that, I don't know how they designed it, but when you don't want to use them, I can just hold it and my fingers actually wrap around the top of it, and then it can, my fingertips rest right here and they don't activate the buttons. And it's nice and feels great in the hand. So they really designed the back buttons really well on these, so I really like this a lot. Now, another thing I like about these back buttons, which is an improvement over their rival controller right here, is that with the rival you had to push and hold this back button until the program button came on. It took like 3 or 4 seconds, but this one, all you got to do is flip the switch. Actually, let me turn the controller on. Okay, there we go. The controller is now on, which means my Xbox is now on in the other room, but oh well. But anyways, all you got to do to program it is flip that switch and see that little slot right there? Boom, now it turns blue, and all you have to do is push a button, hold that, and then hold whatever button you want, and then wait for the blink. And that's it, super fast, and then you just flip that switch back, and you're good to go. And another thing great about that switch is if you just don't want to use the back buttons at all because you're afraid of, you know, accidental discharge or whatnot, just flip that switch like that, and you're good to go. These back buttons won't activate, and you can just leave it like that for however long you play. So definitely like this design a lot better. And you actually get 3 options if you customize this on the HexGaming website for the trigger stops right here. You can either get one that is just the plain Jane nothing, just like the original controller with no trigger stops or anything and no grip, or you can get the one that I have here that has the trigger stops as well as this really nice rubber grip, which I really recommend. This just feels so nice. Or you can get a digital trigger versions, which will bypass these and actually have really short throw triggers, and it'll just be essentially the same as these back buttons right here, where it's just instant on, instant off. That won't be as good for racing, because if you race and you want to feather the throttle, then you can't do that when it's just a click on, click off. So those are your options. All right, now for a little bit of fun here, I'm actually using Xbox Remote Play on my iPad here. I got Halo Infinite multiplayer beta going here, so you can see the rumble motors in action since it is nice and clear. And as you can see, I'm firing off the MA40 and you can see the rumble motor going off. It's really cool and fun to watch there, as you can see. Just hold on, reload. And then okay, the connection's kind of wonky because it has to be connected to the actual Xbox to get the rumble feature. And there we go. Okay, now it's back connected, and there we go. Yeah, my Xbox is a little bit far away, so it's kind of losing connection here and there, but it's just really cool to watch these motors work. Okay, story time. This is actually a brand new day. It's a continuation of the video that I made. I actually had to stop because of the issue that I ran into. And that issue was this controller, because it kept connecting and disconnecting, it suddenly freaked out and it just stopped connecting to my Xbox, period. Like, it wouldn't connect at all. Like, I went in, I turned this off, I turned the Xbox off, rebooted it, nothing worked. Then I hardlined it with a cable directly to my Xbox Series X, still didn't work. And I was just like, what is going on here? So I contacted HexGaming, and they said they recommended to try a different USB cable because some are able to transmit data and some apparently are just for charging. So I was gonna go look for that, but then I realized this is a Microsoft controller underneath all this skin, so to speak. So I was like, well, let me see what issues Microsoft has had. And I found out that since the Xbox One, they've had issues where the controller would just stop connecting to the Xbox, and what they would do to fix it, like the ultimate fix, was to unplug the Xbox so that all the power drained out, and then plug it back in. They said 10 seconds, I did it for an hour, and then I plugged it back in, and it connected again, and it works just fine, except I'm probably not going to try that again because I'm about 50 feet from my Xbox and there's about 3 walls this has to go through, so it was kind of a surprise that it was able to go through to begin with. So yeah, just a fun little story there. Now, I don't think HexGaming is actually at fault here because it is the Xbox controller underneath, the actual Microsoft brand, so it's just a problem with the Series X controller and apparently the Xbox One controller. So just FYI. But watching these impulse triggers rumble is still pretty cool, so I'll just insert some video. Ooh, look at it go. Alright, now for the nitty gritty of this, the price. Now, first and foremost, this is not a cheap controller, nor does it ever pretend to be. This is pro grade controller designed for esports, and it brings the price tag along with it. Here is my iPad again here. I can show you. You can buy these pre-made on Amazon. As you can see here, the pre-made ones actually are $250. If you want to go cheaper and you're okay with bare bones, not really, pretty styling, you can go to their main website right there and you can customize your own. And if you start with the basic and just go all black, as you can see, it's only $169.90. Oh, come on there. Okay, we'll try this. We'll do horizontal view. You can see it a lot better. You can see the price anyways. We'll go back to the, no, not the zoom in. We'll go back to the HexGaming website right there. And as you can see, with the standard, we'll go back to standard. It's $169.99. That has the back buttons, but no trigger stops. If you go for the digital trigger stops, which doesn't have the switch, but it has the very short kind of mouse click buttons, brings it up to $194.99. And if you do the trigger stops that I have, it brings it up to $199.99. Now, when you look at the price there, you're just like, wait, how does it compare to the Elite 2, right? The Microsoft version. And honestly, when it comes to price and, what you get for it, it's no comparison. The Elite 2 is just much more bang for the buck. And the main reason for that is that third-party controller companies just cannot match the economies of scale that Microsoft has. So, I mean, for Microsoft, for them to make the same version of Microsoft, it would probably end up costing like $300 because they just don't have the economies of scale. But HexGaming is competitive against their real competitor, which is Scuf Gaming, because as you can see right here, if you get their Instinct controller that does not have the trigger stops but does have the back buttons, that runs $169.99, same price as the HexGaming. And if you get the Pro version that has the trigger stops as well as the back buttons, it says $209.99. It says it starts at $199.99, which is the same price. So, I mean, I guess technically this is more expensive than the HexGaming. So, when it comes to pricing, this controller is competitively priced. It's not cheap, but it is competitively priced. So, I mean, it's like a review I read for The Verge on the Scuf controller. Actually, here is the exact headline from The Verge. It says, Scuf's Instinct Pro has more pop but fewer features than the Xbox Elite Series 2. For those who want a colorful and capable gamepad and who have a lot of money. I think a lot of that actually applies to this HexGaming controller as well, except there is an additional add-on. This can be customized just so much more than scuffs. And these back buttons, if you don't like the Elite controller ones, or if you don't like the scuffs design, these are the only way to go. So that is another feature as well. Plus these are just really nice right here. So it's give or take, you know, if you got the money and you want something really nice. I mean, HexGaming will really let you customize the bejesus out of this compared to scuff. And if you don't like the Elite 2, I mean, you're kind of out of options. Links to both the HexGaming website and Amazon will be below in the description. Well guys, overall, I think it is a great controller. Oh, and if you decide to purchase this on the HexGaming's website, you can use my code SMACKIT5 and get 5% off. But honest opinion of this controller, I actually really do like it. Is it expensive? Absolutely. Would I buy it? You know, if I had a good job that gave me a lot of extra income, yes, I would, because it's literally the original Series X controller, which I like the shape better than the Elite 2. I've tried the Elite 2, it's just big, bulky, heavy. This, I love the shape of the Series X controller, far better than the PS5 as well. And they built it on top of it. And I like this button layout. I like how they're separated, unlike the scuffs where it's like you push here and push there. I mean, I haven't tried it, but it doesn't seem quite as comfortable as this one. This gives you many options to hold. Plus, I love the customization because, I mean, scuff doesn't have this, where the transparent fronts or the transparent triggers. At least I don't think, last I checked. And they just don't let you customize it the way HexGaming does. And it's a quality controller, well built, no creaks beyond the normal, of course. You know, even the original one creaks a little bit, but as you can see, those buttons. It's well built, solidly built, competitively priced, and it works. That's the biggest thing. And honestly, when this controller broke, or supposedly broke, when it lost connection, I had to go back to my old controller, and I felt so just uncompetitive because I lost my back buttons, and when I was trying to jump strafe, I couldn't do it. So yeah, definitely worked out. But in the end, only you can decide if your hard-earned cash is worth the purchase of this controller. But I can tell you that if you do decide to purchase this controller, I think you would be pleasantly surprised and happy with the quality. Anywho dudes, thanks for watching. Hopefully this review helps if you were on the fence, and also thank you to HexGaming for sending this over. And until the next video, I'll catch you guys in Halo. Peace.